Hey everyone, so there's some pretty massive news in the AI world that I need to talk to you about today. And honestly, this could be one of those moments where we look back in a few years and say, yeah, that's when everything started to shift. Yann LeCun, the guy who literally won the Turing Award, the godfather of deep learning, Meta's former chief AI scientist, just announced his new startup. And it's not just any startup. We're talking about a company called Advanced Machine Intelligence, or AMI Labs, that's already reportedly seeking a valuation of around $3.5 billion before it's even launched. Yeah, you heard that right. $3.5 billion pre-launch. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another AI startup with an insane valuation. What else is new, right? But here's the thing. This isn't just hype. LeCun is going after something fundamentally different from what everyone else in Silicon Valley is obsessing over right now. So let me paint the picture for you. LeCun spent 12 years at Meta, 5 years as the founding director of Facebook AI Research, and 7 as their chief AI scientist. He basically helped build Meta's entire AI strategy from the ground up. But late last year, he announced he's leaving, and when he explained why, he said something really interesting. Silicon Valley is completely hypnotized by the current models of generative AI. Think about that for a second. The man who helped lay the foundation for modern deep learning is essentially saying, hey, everyone's going in the wrong direction. And instead of staying in the valley, he's moving his headquarters to Paris. He's literally going back to Europe because he believes that's where he can do the kind of research that Silicon Valley won't touch right now. Alright, so here's where it gets really interesting. AMI Labs isn't building another large language model. They're building something called world models. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept, let me break it down in a way that actually makes sense. Current LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, all these systems we use every day, they're basically really good at predicting the next word in a sequence. They're pattern matching machines trained on massive amounts of text. And sure, they're impressive, but they have some serious limitations. They hallucinate. They're non-deterministic, which means they can give you different answers to the same question. And fundamentally, they don't actually understand how the world works. World models, on the other hand, are designed to understand physics, maintain persistent memory, and plan complex actions. So, for example, a world model would understand what happens when you push an object, not because it read about it in a text somewhere, but because it actually models the physical relationships. LeCun has been pretty vocal about this. He said, we are not going to get to human-level AI just by scaling LLMs. And honestly, when you think about it, he's got a point. Current AI systems have this incredible command of human knowledge, but they can't match what a simple animal understands about the physical world. Now, the technical foundation for this is something called JEPA, Joint Embedding Predictive Architecture. And this is where it gets a bit more technical, but stay with me because it's actually pretty cool. Instead of training on massive text data sets like LLMs do, JEPA focuses on creating abstract representations of reality through multimodal sensory data. Meta actually released iJEPA back in 2023, which was LeCun's early work on this concept. The idea is to build AI that learns internal models of how the world works so it can learn faster, plan better, and adapt to unfamiliar situations. It's about making predictions at a semantic level, understanding the high-level information about what's happening, not just pixel-level details. So let's talk about the business angle here. LeCun brought on Alexandre Lebrun as CEO. This guy is the co-founder of Nabla, which is a medical transcription AI startup that's actually doing really well. They tripled their ARR this year. And here's where it gets interesting. Nabla has already signed a partnership to use AMI's models as they're developed. This means AMI isn't just doing research for research's sake. They've got immediate applications lined up, particularly in healthcare, where you need AI systems that are reliable and don't hallucinate. And beyond that, they're targeting robotics, transportation, and other areas where AI needs to actually interact with the physical world. Now, Meta isn't investing directly in AMI labs, but they are maintaining a partnership. So LeCun gets to continue his research with some connection to his former employer, but with the independence to pursue this vision that honestly Meta probably wouldn't have prioritized given their focus on LLMs right now. Of course, AMI Labs isn't alone in this space. You've got Google DeepMind working on world models, and Fifi Lee's World Labs raised $230 million at a $1 billion valuation back in 2024. So when you compare that to AMI's reported $3.5 billion valuation target, you can see just how much confidence investors have in LeCun's vision. But there's also this question hanging over everything. Is this an AI bubble? I mean, when pre-revenue startups are commanding these kinds of valuations just based on the founder's reputation, you have to wonder. Then again, this is Yann LeCun we're talking about. If anyone can deliver on this vision, it's probably him. Look, here's the bottom line. If world models actually work the way LeCun envisions, we're talking about AI that doesn't just generate text or images, but actually understands causality and can reason about the physical world in a deterministic way. That's the difference between AI that's creative but unreliable and AI that you could actually trust to make decisions in the real world. And for all of us in the AI space, this is something worth paying attention to, because whether world models end up being the next big thing or not, this represents a fundamentally different approach to building intelligent systems. It's a bet that the future of AI isn't just about scaling up what we already have, but about building something architecturally different from the ground up. So yeah, keep an eye on AMI Labs. This could be the start of something really transformative, or it could be another case of hype outpacing reality. But either way, when someone like Yann LeCun is willing to leave Meta and stake his reputation on a new paradigm, that's definitely signal worth taking seriously.
All right, that's it for today. Let me know what you think about world models in the comments.